야, 드니 대랑 아촌다나 용근 참마라 슈조 데라칸 참주지인.
Good afternoon or good evening to everyone who's gathered here tonight.
드니 대랑 아촌다니 UC Berkeley가 드니 로다 침보 나라 용네 미망본 드니 망보다 냠더 갑다시야 드니 골급숑라 배 가보숑송.
I'm so happy to have this opportunity tonight to come to the University of Berkeley and have this chance to engage in dialogue with so many of you.
드니 대랑 아초 갑다시야 드니 조샤 드니 갑샹데 드니 세쪽 렌탕 제야 드니즈레.
And the topic for tonight's talk is the value of a life.
드니 당봉 아초 세쪽 제야 되당 드니 렌탕 제야 되 돈다니 토라 삼로 당공도.
So in thinking about this topic, it's necessary that we address two words. Firstly, value, and secondly, life.
드니 아초 낭추고 나라샤 비 세쪽 대당 드니 아초 띵우르 바 차르 바샤 비 세쪽 제야 드니라 대전 자우 말이.
So in terms of how we define a life, there are some dissimilarities between the way Buddhism defines life and biology in modern science does.
드니 띵우르 바나라 아초 베나 메나레 던조에나레 드니思想에나레 대서 참말라 드니 세쪽 제가 요레 드니 코란 거 고와 디토니샤나 대서 참마 세쪽 제나 초거레.
In biology, humans, animals, and even plants are all considered forms of life. So this definition, biological definition, is fine for biologists to use.
드니 아초 낭슈 나라 드니 세쪽 제야 데 간디즈라 제거레즈나 모다 던조다 든지 아초라 데와당 등물 거 초로와 용칸 드니 삼로 당신칸 든지 zgla 드니 세쪽 제거레.
However, in Buddhism, we define life as human or animal in nature, essentially those beings that are capable of feeling happiness or sadness, capable of thinking. This is how we define life.
든지 드니 아초 思想的대소라 다 자다想的매도다 대소라 세쪽 제거 말해.
So with this definition, we don't define plants, trees, and flowers, grass, etc. as constituting life.
다팅 아주 고한 렌르크 차버르마도 땡가와요 말해서.
So this is a difference in the way that biology and Buddhism understands life. However, this is not a contradiction.
드니 대랑 아주 모당 던조 드니 세쪽 디토니 시작을.
So what I would like to talk about today is life in terms of human life and animal life.
드니 렌탕제니 드니 아주 세쪽 렌탕데 간지레즈니 드니 시작을 조샤 니바데.
And then we need to look at what we mean by value in relation to life.
드니 잠볼랑 그나라 드니 우니 장니 렌탕 아주 장가 잡 마트비 렌탕 그 장가 잡 마트방 오마디 강르지나 세쪽레.
In the world, that which is the most valuable or the most priceless would have to be life.
인나 아주 세쪽라더니 렌탕 렌반 든지 고즈니 아주 베나 아주 냐총총 찍라 더니 골모가지 고즈 샤총총 찍라 골모가지 고즈 더니 무총총 찍라 아주 자야 무총총 찍라 골모간디 고즈 아주 렌탕 잡고 요레스.
Even though life is something that is not able to be given a value, nevertheless, we do give a value to things like fish and insects, birds, etc., how much it would cost if we needed to buy them or if we wanted to eat them. However, this valuation is one that is imposed by others on these life forms.
드니 아주 미 잠바즈 그더니 교랑 그 세쪽라 단 렌탕 든지人工 드니 드니 아주 팔 잡거래 마도 코랑라 삼로 땅나 이 코랑 그 세쪽들라人工 짜가니 요 말이지.
So even though this evaluation is done by someone else imposing a value externally onto these lifetimes, from the point of view of the life in question, this isn't a reflection of their value at all.
Tani nya chong denjin boda sha chong denjin bozla nga so mi jambas chikateni ta samlo tangna te tondak chimboz mare samne te gormo sum gormo nga denji ga ta rentang denji re samne nga so denji sam gre se jambas ga samna reda khorang rang ga samlo tangna teni khorang ga che chok de la rentang samne me pa rentang janga jab ma ba denji re.
So even though someone looking on a small fish or a small bird might not think it was worth very much, someone might look at such an animal and give it a value of $3 or $5, from the point of view of the animal or the life in question, their own life is something that is priceless in nature.
Teni nga so jamba chikateni checho jamba chikla teni chorang rengong de chorang checho rengong de denji rezene kung teni jawyate te nga so norwares.
So one form of life imposing a value on the life of another life form is a great mistake.
Pena pe jana tera nga so mi nga so tawala sanlo tana pena nyama chila nga so karma jang ge thone yongken ge mochi yone teni nga so sama nyam de zone o min de so che chokla ta gormo kaje rezene tindi kongchi shina tindi rengong tindi jabna te nga so tsawane kheleng ga mares.
So we could say, let's imagine that Martians, aliens from another planet, suddenly arrived on Earth amongst us and started to say how much our human lives were worth. That is, they imposed a valuation on our lives. This is something that we would not accept in any way.
Teni ngarang so susu samlo tana ngarang so chechok de teni rengong janga jab matha pi teni rengong teni yin samne nga so sam ge yores.
So from our own perspective, looking at our own lives, they are something that are not able to be given a valuation. They are priceless in nature.
Teni nga so da chingparese pe na nya chung sha chung bu chung teni zi na chama ga teni khorang rang ga samlo tana ngarang ge chechok de teni zambolang ga teni longshu gang le jang ngupo gang le jang ngarang ge chechok de teni jiba da marwa da teni rengong ja matha ba teni re samne chama ga teni sam ga yores.
And it's not just ourselves who think in this way. Any kind of life form, from a small bird, a small fish, or a small insect, from their own perspective, their life is something that is the most valuable out of any object in the world. It's valuable, it's precious, it's cherished.
Teni ngatu teni secho jamba chola teni rengong jamne gomo ngayen gomo chin zeatila teni niluk tsawane yo mares niluk yo mares te gimsen tsawane yo mares.
So to impose a value on another life form, to say it's worth, say, $5 or $10, is something that is completely without reason. It is without logic.
Gimsen chipo de gangreze na wangcha reze wangcha la teni shege yore mato jamba wangcha chipo mato ba jamba ga niluk tsawane de yo mares.
The only reason that we are able to do so is due to power. Aside from power, there is absolutely no other reason justifying this action. And this power, however, is increasingly becoming rationalized, made more reasonable.
Tarta nga so simjin so dro de ni che chokla ren thang jab gyo re ti nyima chigla nga so mi ru ka de ni mo so pan chang chik chigla mur mi de ni mo te garwo ta nak bo dan sero yin nan ja yang nan zambolang ge mur ja da man ja yin nan ja de ni nga so nang ge chik chigla de ni kyorang ge che chokla de ni golmo ka je re kyorang ge che chokla golmo ka je re je wangcha yongken so wangcha menken so la de ni ge de ni gong ren gong de ni jab ge re nyima chigla.
And if this kind of normalization of the powerful imposing value or definitions of value onto the lives of others continues, then one day we will reach a point where it's not just animals that we impose a life value on, but we start to do it in respect of other humans. So the powerful start defining the value of the powerless, different groups of people, different races start imposing values on each other, different ethnicities. This is what will happen one day if we continue in this direction.
Karti wangchata topshik te teni niligresona teni nga chon zambalang thola yo bi mo wangcha yongkan mo topshik yongkan te so teni mo wangcha menkan da mo topshik menkan te so teni kyorang ga chechok ga ran thang de teni gormo chigre jene teni ta khorang ga rengkong gyabna te nilig tang damba tin jen res.
And what would happen is that the powerful and influential in the world, their valuation of the lives of others, dealing out giving values to the other life forms, saying this life form is worth this much, that life form is worth that much. This kind of practice will become increasingly normal.
Jiti inna yang tini korang la sanglo tangma perna nya chung chung, sha chung chung, tini mbu chung chung, tini zi inna korang ka sanglo tangna tini te tsawani kelin, te tanglim shi tabka mari zi korang la sanglo tangna.
However, as for the small bird or the fish or the insect, this imposed valuation of their life is something that they would never accept.
Te indi korang ka sanglo tangna ngarang ka tsechok te rentang tsawani mepa ka tinti rentang janzi yin samni tinti sam kayo res.
From their point of view, they would think that my life is something that is unable to be valued. It's not able to be given a value, it's priceless.
Tenji yindi nga tso tsechok la rentang yo tang me ka thoni shana nga tso zambalang ka simchin tsangma chikba rezi tsechok la rentang yo me ka thoni shana.
So in terms of the question of value, in fact, all beings in the world are exactly the same.
Njamnim rezi, tsama njamnim rezi.
They are all equal.
Njamnim ma yin ba chikbo te nga tso wangcha re, wangcha njamnim ma rezi.
The only respect in which they or we are not equal is in terms of the amount of power we possess.
Njamnim ma yin ba chikbo te nga tso topshik rezi, topshik te njamnim ma re, wangcha ta topshik nika njamnim ma yin bi gyamsenji, tani nga tso tsechok jamba tso la nga tso tani rengkong gyabne, tani tanti shege yo rezi.
So it's only on account of the disparity in influence and power among beings in the world that some have the capacity to impose a value of life onto others.
Tani di chani shena nga tso nangba ga tani shena nangba ga zena tani zambalang ga simchen tsangma tani gang yin na anja nga tso mi yin na anja dendro yin na anja simchen tsangma di thoni shena tsangma njamnim yin song ga yores.
So from this perspective, the Buddhist teachings hold that all beings, whether it be humans or animals, are all equal.
Tani njamnim yin tsardi tani nga tso dong ga thola tani njamnim yin di tani nga tso tsechok tsangma ga pansang chiga chigla suso go tani mi ger kunguni sanglo tana suso go rentang tsechok de rentang me pa yin samni tani samba te la tani nga tso zunjok she gong dugse.
So given the fact that we are all equal, it is necessary that we respect the belief on the part of every single life form in the pricelessness of their own life.
Teni karti tela nga tso zunjok she mashina teni di teni ta te ze tarong yar gyachimbo nra ore sona teni nga tso maung bala nga tso soso rang thola teni mi nangla teni nyokta teli chimba teni tar nga yang mambol hebe ore maung bana mambol heb kres.
But if we're not able to do this, if we're not able to respect the pricelessness with which other life forms regard their own lives, then we will increasingly encounter all kinds of trouble. In fact, we're already seeing all kinds of trouble in the world, and this will only grow more extreme in nature.
Tindi indi nga so zambalang ka jibdezi, zambalang jibdezi ni mi mambo ko siya kayori, mi mambo ko molum jab kayori, mi mambo ko tini rewa jab kayori. Riti te molum chikbo ko yung ko marezi, nga so leka lego ondogzi.
So in terms of happiness and peace in the world, this is something that everyone talks about, everyone prays for. However, this isn't something that's just going to come about through the strength of prayer. It's something that we actually need to work practically for.
Leka leyati tambo suso ranga toning gonzi go ondogzi, ngostum go ondogzi.
And this work needs to begin with ourselves.
Tani chikti nga so jan tendro ko tone tani ngostum go ondogzi, shata, nyata, tani chung nyamchung ti so tone nga so ngostum go res.
And the place that we need to begin is with other animals, from very meek and humble life forms such as fish and birds, etc.
Tandi yensona nga so tsechok ramnim te yakbo zo tani shine tani nga so tsechok sama chikachila panchen tani tsinjok yakbo shia tani zi yonsona nga so sim ga nang ne te tanglin yakbo shi tabsona tani nga so zambalang yenari nga so shisok yenari nga so kimchang yenari tani tsangma ramnim tani zi yongres.
So if we're really able to cultivate a respect for all other life forms and are able to really internalize this at a personal level, then this will bring about changes at the level of the world, society, and family. Everyone will be able to be held in equality.
Tani nga so chumlu ko tone ramnim zeni shaka yore pe hale ba yakbo res. Riti yinna yang nga so sim ko tone ramnim yakbo she matana tani chumlukta dutur ko gonin ramnim yoate pe kabbo rendus.
So in terms of the law, everyone is held to be equal, and this is a very good thing. However, if we are actually not able to believe in and commit to equality at the level of our minds, then there will be a big conflict between the law and our own practice.
Tandi indi nga so namgin nga so chowa nangla tani nga so la tani gomchur chige oreze gomchur stage gareze nga so mi mangchi shu te tani hal lepa ga tone soso ger ka chorwa ti thola soso ko chorwa dewa tang soso ko chorwa dungmor tang tela hal lepa ga tani thongchin tani jege ore rete yina mi jamba ga chorwa tela nga so dornang chembo jege mareze.
In terms of our everyday lives, we're accustomed to a particular kind of habit, and this habit is to care a great deal about our own feelings of happiness and our own feelings of suffering, but not to pay much attention to these in relation to others.
Tani nga so mi jang ga chorwa tela te nga so tenim thongchin shia dang tani tela torna je na tani ti topchi tani nga so chama so ger la yang tani tharji yabo yonggon dus.
However, if we are able to pay a bit more attention and to pay a bit more care to the situation and feelings of others, then this will also result in benefits for ourselves.
Tani di yongdar she go reze nga so yongdar mapshi na tani nga so namgin nga so tani pakchang rawo te nga mani nga so so ger te pe karchimbo she mi jamba te te karchimbo ma she ba te nga so gomshi tani chak sarson tani yena nga so tan ramnim yabo she go na nga so yongdar sem go toni yongdar she go ndus.
However, if we're going to change in this regard, it's important that we train ourselves. Our habit of cherishing ourselves and not caring about others is in actual fact a very deeply ingrained habit that we have developed. So in order to accustom ourselves to a new way of regarding beings, it's important that we train ourselves.
Tani perna nang chu rawo yena nang ba sa ji ba rawo tani yena tani kharang ga tani la da nje da so ni pa la tani yichi she ma re so rang mi rang sem dang tani mi rang lipo tani ni pa da mi rang chabar te mi rang sem de la jondr she na ni pa pe chimbo yong re de la yichi che re.
So in terms of Buddhism, it doesn't place much belief in the power and efficacy of gods and ghosts. Rather, it places its emphasis or belief in the power of the human mind and human effort.
Tani jondr she atela nga so thaba chimbo ucho na la jondr she sim yores.
And in terms of this training, there are three key training methods in the Mahayana teachings.
This chikdela dagin nyambazi gresi teni ngarang la kanti yena jamba yang te tang japore pe na ngarang ga chechok te rentang me pa tin jin samna te khorang so yang tin sam go yore khorang so teni ta kanti ngarang ga kanti samna te khorang so yang sam go yore chikpa japore nga chu ti thola khapri ji yo mare samni samlo tang ya tin ji jong dr ya chingdu te la dagin nyambazi go yore.
So the first of these is called equality of self and other, and this involves us reflecting on the fact that just as we regard our life to be priceless or beyond value, so too do other beings. They think exactly in this way, and so there's no difference between us two in any respect. So this is the first training method, equality of self and other.
Tani dagin nyambaze te kangjiz la zegrezina tani perna nga cho tani shema ge shetang o tani nyima mambo la tani chime ba tani ge sacha la nga cho mo rnga nyam den rona tani mo jamba jipo te la khorang so la chime ze tani ngarang la tani ch terch sherdam kang yore ze ngarang la ti yona ti kapsa ta nga cho dagin nyamba ge tani jongder te she mena teni chi shertam kang de ngarang kan thong sam gare ti korang chola mena ya te nge sanlo tang mare da ngarang ga thong gres.
So in relation to equality of self and other, we might imagine that 5 people find themselves stranded in the desert after a number of days, and that of these 5 people, only myself has a bottle of water to drink. If we hadn't trained ourselves in equality of self and other, then we would naturally think that the water, that I am thirsty and that I should drink the water. We wouldn't concern ourselves for the other 4 people.
Tani dagin nyambaze te kang rezina tani ta nge samlo ta na ta ngarang la tani chi sherdam kang yore ti mi jamba te chola mendu se ta ngarang ga tani thong jang na ta tondak mendu tani kang ti kang star nya ngarang chama ga thong nge kham kang thong tani khorang ga kang thong nga chu chama ram nim shi ni thong sam ni tani sambi samlo te la dagin nyambaze gres.
So what would equality of self and other mean in this context? Well, it would involve us recognizing that here we are, I have water, the others don't, and yet we all share the same desire to drink water, so therefore I can take one mouthful and then share the rest of the water with the others.
Tani nistong ngap chi ga lola tani nga chon zambalang ga matang tani tongshir gubchila rojires gubchu koksum rekres
Kuchukusum.
tongshir gubchu koksum
93.
93
More or less. So it's said in the year 2050 that the world population will reach 9.3 billion.
레소
Riso.
야 tani ta nga chon zambalang ga sakola ga thola yopi tani 思想的我说米杂种吧的就苍马是东呢你可能个没刚扎子个的你卡索图个嘞没东西加起他把卡索图个嘞
So if we were to bring together all of the food resources that are available to feed these people, then these resources would be able to feed 10 billion? 10 billion, yeah.
야, 동시에 자치다봐. 82.
Oh, 8 billion, sorry.
야. tani ti kapsang aso karti dagjin nyamba ga semde mena tani nga chon zambalang ga mo chama ga tani thongkhong go thola tani ta thapchu jejires.
And if at this time we haven't really adopted an approach of equality of self and other, then there will be very severe struggles over resources that break out among humanity.
tani ti kapsang aso tani tarta ga tani harjang hungonthong ga char ga laksar te so thamje bo tani nga chon rowa mi rila japshi ya yong go mare ti kapsang tani nga chon rowa mi rig makasha ya lokres.
And at this point in time, all of these extremely advanced technologies that we have will not be used in service of humankind, but will be used for its destruction.
teni darshan nyamba ga teni semte teni ngaso ngama la tana lo tongchang ni da ngabja ga kongla ngaso darshan nyamba ga semze ya te nangba ga pe kar chimbo lan jo koreze jeti ti kaps te yona yang halepa yakpore da mena tedi nang chimbo mareze teni tarta ina ngaranso ta lo nish lo sumchi ga jila teni darshan nyamba ga semze ya te pe kar chimbo re te mena ngaso chotap me ban koreze.
So if we think about the importance of equality in self and other, this was something that was extremely important 2,500 years ago in the time of the Buddha. But we could say that even though it was very important then, in terms of its significance at the time, it might not have been such a major thing if it hadn't have been as popular as what it was. However, now where we are at this point in time, and particularly in the next 20 or 30 years, if we don't apply this approach, then it is quite possible we will not be able to survive.
Teni chabar da ngarang so tarta nga so roa mir ki teni tenrola teni leka lelu o wangcha dang teni topshik yona tele jamba jimsung ka ke margowa wangcha dang topshik yona teni nga so mi jamba ga chechok la nga so rengkong japchok chong rabo teni ga samlo te teni ti kaps teni da yong rezi ti kaps yona teni ti kaps teni samlo ta nga so mi ri ka thola yong re ti kaps tenro thola mare mi thola yong rezi.
And at that point in time, the practice that we have cultivated now, where the rich the powerful and influential use their power and influence to impose life value onto other life forms, this practice in another 20 or 30 years, or when the Earth's resources become scarce, will start to be used among humans themselves.
Teni ta tinji mayung was the she gona, teni also the Bokershia dang, teni Driston Ramandata, teni Tanga Yongoma, Yongo Yamare, Mutsu Simganani Jondr she gondus.
In order to avoid this coming about, in addition to launching various campaigns and making a loud noise, it's important that we train ourselves at the level of our own minds.
Teni jang ato teni darshan nyamba teni samlo te karte mena pena kyamsang sikla samlo tangba yena ti kyamsang sikbode pena mo khorang teni kyamsang sik nang la yongken ke mo sikbode te khorang ka gang don do te je te me jamba te la dumur yongda ma yongda te chawani samlo tangga mare ji kyamsang sik nang la shutsok sikla samlo tangba yena nga shutsok nang la yongken ke mi wangsha jan me teni domjur jante so rang do pa kang na te le tani mi nyam chung da mi kyo bo de so la ti chora kan de yong ma yong dumur kan de yong ma yong ti sawa ni samlo tang ma res te kang re jina khorang wang cha yo na te khorang le ka kang le na le chuk chung da bo wang cha te ni le gre ro yo res nga so.
If others or if people don't understand the importance, or they don't view others as equal to themselves, then and this idea that those with power can do whatever they like, if this idea becomes normalized, then we can imagine what the results would be at the level of an individual family. One person would do as they like, they wouldn't pay attention to anyone else, and it would cause all kinds of problems. If we think about this at the level of society, it would be just the same. The powerful would be doing what they wanted. They wouldn't care how it affected the meek and the poor. And it would essentially be a situation of the powerful and influential doing what they like, and this situation becoming normalized.
Teni ta oto ngacho darshan nyamba ga teni semkam gu jongdr shya tapshi tap depo zeng samala ngocho chegen.
So I'd like to introduce briefly actually how we engage in the practice of cultivating the equality of self and other.
Teni te nam pesho tangchok go rezena pena ngacho ganti khawamba pine ka ta sachan den rawo ina teni yoki mari pena America ga sharshong rawo teni ga sacha jangmo yo sata teni ga kabla ngacho gungkha teni sholola jo teni kyoye nare teni lili nare teni ga teni chamni ro de yon kan teni zaje mesa konje mesa teni pe jangmo changni dumur nyong yo den ken teni ga semchen ngacho thongine kamna teni ndo sam go res.
So how we do this is we think of a place that is very cold in the middle of winter when it's snowing, and we think of an animal such as a dog or a stray cat or some other kind of stray animal that is without shelter and suffering in this extremely cold weather, and we bring to mind an image of this kind of animal.
강바 메사다 더니 점낭라 대사 메사 딘디가 뭐 교보 딘디도 수실로라 되는 수 뭐 딘디가 저 묵은 통이 값스 딘 삼고그레스.
Or alternatively, it could be a person who is homeless without anywhere to live, and when we see them with our own eyes, we reflect on their situation.
더니 간디 삼고그레스나 페다 더니 다 남시장 몬든지즈레 더니 자마자에 말에 더니 때 pe chamore tini tinji ga nala tini dabo jam khin yo mare tinji ga tini che yanare tini lili yanare tini khorang nga yanna kandi re insare samne sam gore ngarang karti tini chende yanna kandi insare samne sam gore.
So in this situation where the suffering being is without house, is without food, and is without anyone to care for them, whether it be a dog or a cat or a person, what we need to think is, what would it be like if this person were me? What would it be like if this being were me in the same situation?
Yana korang nge apa yenna kandi insare ngaranga ama yenna kandi insare samne di chöyna liliyna tani korang shorongla chamdenken ge moyna kartingi apa terandani de korangla desame kyumme tani zayame tindishini tani di lamkhandela deona de lung tindi jabgundu khangbabgundu dinalayona nge kandi insare nge kandi samsari samne tani samgores.
Or alternatively, we can reflect on how we would feel if it were our own mother or our own father who is in this situation, without house, without food, without care, on the side of the road, in the middle of all the wind and snow. How would it be if this were our own mother or father?
Yana korang ni pu yinna kandi insare ngarang ko bomo te terang tini korang tini rosa mendu same ta zaya me tindi dungur tindi yonggoyona kandi insare nge chora kandi insare nyam samne tini samlo tanggo re.
Or we can think, how would it be if it were my own daughter or my own son who was in this situation with no place to live and no food and undergoing this kind of suffering? What would I feel if this were the case?
So
in terms of our practice, our training practice, this is the first step or the first stage. So in contemplating or in reflecting like this, whether it be a dog or a cat or another human being, we will arise a feeling of empathy. And from once we arouse this feeling of empathy, we then move on to the second stage of this practice.
Javi tini jamnyum ke chazi ores tin jamnyum ke chade kana jena pela ngarang ka aba yenara ngarang yenare ngarang ko po yenare tini ngaso sama ngarang la tini dea yongna samde tini samgo yore ngarang la tini zaji me pada kyonji me pe tini dungur te mena samde tini samgo yore khorang de yang te samgo yore mi kyo yang te samgo yore lili yang te samgo yore sha yang te samgo yore tini nya yang te samgo so sami te samgo yore jamnyum re teni ngaso ti tolan jamnyum yinna teni ngarang tasangarang wangcha deji yore te yona teni ngarang ga teni jamnyum yinna yang teni nge jamnyum te la sinjok ma shini teni jamba tamchi bo teni dungmur yona nge te la samlo ma tang yana nge ti dungmur ngarang ga deski te yongwa ga che te jamba la dungmur ma botat teni jina nge tsawani njuk mundu samne te ngarang ga norwa re samne te norwa ti nguzun che go re.
So at this stage, we acknowledge that the being suffering is not our father, might not be our own son or daughter or mother, and it's not ourself either. However, the being undergoing suffering is nevertheless equal to us or any of our loved ones in fundamental ways. That is, primarily just like ourselves and just like our loved ones, this being who is currently suffering has no desire whatsoever to be without food, without house, or to be in this situation of suffering. So in terms of their desire for happiness and their lack of desire for suffering, they are exactly the same as us. They're exactly the same as our parents. And in fact, all beings are like this, regardless of whether they're fish or birds or other small forms of life form. So in reflecting like this, we generate a strong sense that for the sake of our own happiness, to harm other beings who are equal to us in their desire for happiness and their lack of desire for suffering, that this is in fact an extremely mistaken way of thinking and acting.
Tani nga tsu njamnim yin sambaga samlo telab jongder samlo mambo tangna tani nga tsu yin rangbo go mare tani nga tsu tsama ta nga tsu sama njamnim re nga tsu zambon tela yongken go tani mo tongshir donchi tamba yin na ja te mayin bi tani chokchak mambo yore tsama nga tsu sama dewa tobi chet tsama baba jege yore dungmun mayong wa ge chet tani nga tsu sama baba jege yore te yona nga tsu sama njamnim re samba nga tsu chechok to ni njamnim samba samlo te tang zapu yong re.
So by working on this practice for a period of time, it is possible for us to develop a very deep and profound recognition or understanding of the equality of all beings. That is, aside from the 7 billion humans that exist on the planet, there are also myriad other life forms who, just like ourselves, strive very hard for happiness and strive very hard to avoid suffering.
Tani te tsarvi jini tani nga tsu komba jongder ko komba samba de pogo res.
And after we have completed this stage of the contemplation, we move on to the third stage.
Tani komba samba de kang resina ota nga tsu saman ramnim yinna oya tani ta nge ngarang chikbo te la samlo tang te jamba thamchi pola samlo ma tang na tan recommend te na tani nga tsu chishir tam kang de ta nge thong khorang cholan thong nga tsu mu nga bo ti tan ramnim shinin thong sambi samlo de tani ngone ngarang sim ga tang ni ti yung reze ota nga tsu chishir tam kang ma to yo mare te nga tsu ramnim shinin thong tani te zat sarvi jini ta nga tsu kang de yen na te nga tsu thapsi jamba yo na me ta go re ma to ba ngarang chikbo thong khorang cho shina shi te kang ri song na song samya ga samlo de non-chir yenpa shini, te koran sem ka tangni, ta nga tsun ramnyam shini tonggo, nga tsun chinda tsama ramnyam shi, sambi samlo de, di tangni yungres.
And at this third stage of the practice, we generate from the depths of our heart a very strong awareness of the equality of ourselves and others. So in terms of the example where 5 of us are in the desert with only 1 bottle of water, from the depths of our heart we generate an understanding that it is mistaken to only think of ourselves and not for others, not caring whether they live or die. We realize that it's necessary to share the water. Willingly we do this. After we finish the water, then together we'll come up with another method for addressing our next round of concerns. So at the third stage, our sense of equality between self and other becomes deep and profound.
Teni nga tsu tsangma tenti ga mi jan la samlo tang ya, nga tsu par tenti mi jan la samlo tang na, teni mi jan pa tsu nga tsu sar tenti yang samlo tang gres.
When we get into the habit of thinking about others in this way, then they will also begin to regard us in the same way too.
Tini tinti yin song na nga tsun nyama shikla nga tsun zambalang la tini tongkong ka mandang wanda oda, yang na tini chik jia chimbo, tini kyab jia chimbo, rangshong ka tini rangshong kam ka njikpa tini shong song na yang, 인나양 아주 미티니 셈거더니 니식티 찍찍라 땐 살티더니 랑숑 감고 노바당 직바티솔이 야르탑 그래서
And if we're able to really make this strong, then even if in the future there becomes a situation where our resources are insufficient or there is an extremely large-scale natural disaster, that we will be able to transcend it.
드니다 때랑아 저거 차트디 나라 직돔나 강레제나 직돔장나게 스카시거나 쓰는 직돔나 세쪽고 ren탕제나 ren탕 잡트고 말해야지 그런가 ren탕 가서 장가 잡아요 말해야지 그때 내 때랑은 차트디 직돔인지
So if I had to boil down the essence of my talk tonight, it would be that it is not possible to give a value to a human life. It's not possible to give it a numeric value.
되니 가서 어디니 세쪽 잠바가 세쪽라 가서 되니人工 잡돼야 돼. 골모 지그리지니人工 잡돼야 돼. 가서 노라리 때 가서 노처 치슈데레 제아땡임 지금 지그레스.
And the other basic point of tonight's talk would also be that our practice of valuing others, other forms of life, or imposing valuations of their life is a grave mistake, in fact, our gravest mistake.
Tani ngarang la samlo tang bayenda di ton te la samlo tang ni tani ngerwa condition song na tani ni tong chigu gubchu go ye klo yanchula ngarang karzi rang lu patin is mens
就是这样，就是。
karzi rang lu pas mens ngarang
是
ngarang nga
nam
你懂这个个这个个演出了？
今度は개몽한 다른 거 마소.
这个个这个演出了1998年之前，我等你开始让了把子门子。
Oh yeah, let's see. Before 1998, I wasn't a vegetarian.
呀，等你懂这个个这个로라 때리나랑 까지랑 봐 착래지.
직동 급자 급주구구를 봐.
그래 급주구구로.
I became a vegetarian in 1999.
다티 파르탕아랑 까지랑 봐인스.
And I have been vegetarian up until today.
때리나랑 때 니통 탐바가 다와치바가 세파니시 등근님버 때리나랑 teni shiraga nangla soni par mambo je bayins
lonam
tuzai chang
ritnam
nitong 2000的10月27
nikdong 可能了리
2000年
리 teni dawa katse
dawa jiba ge cefa ni shi dun
oh yeah sorry I'm not very good with numbers and dates So in the year 2000, on the 27th of October, I went to an abattoir in eastern Tibet. Okay, and when I went to the abattoir and I was holding my camera to take photos, I was unable to do so because I was so scared my hands were shaking so much. However, I forced myself to take many photos, and I did document many photos on that day. And after this day, I visited 3 other abattoirs and also took many photos on these occasions. And based on what I saw visiting all these abattoirs, I wrote down what I saw and in the form of several articles. And I made DVDs which contained visual footage of my visit to the abattoirs and disseminated them widely to advocate a vegetarian movement.
Teni ti lorgi ti nala ngarang tamgin mambo jong mambo she yo yina tarang ngaso kompayo maris.
And in relation to this particular history, there are many stories I could tell you, but I haven't got enough time today.
Teni ne jewa kangre yenzina ngaso sama dagjin nyamba che go rezina te chan tumbore ngaso she go na khbore zi yina yang ngaso jinni ji jinyang se teni mi jamba ga ta simjin jamba ga chorwala teni tornang she go nang se.
So my hope is that even though really implementing or actualizing the equality of self and other is a very high goal or a very high demand, I would hope that everyone can pay attention and take seriously the life of others.
Teni nyamachila ngaso sim go nala tenti yapore sona teni ngaso chumzea ta dictorzea tenti menayang
And if one day we are able to cultivate our minds to a sufficiently high level in this regard, then it won't make a difference whether we have the law or not. Equality will be able to be manifested naturally. And then peace and happiness will naturally come of effect in the world. And whether or not this comes about really rests on the shoulders of students in universities just like this.
Teni lasar hale pa chan thom bo te mambo lab teni shirg mambo lojong chi yena shirg te so gandhi pesho tang goda lasar te so gandhi pesho tang goya ga ti semkham go thone samlo te yakboz ko da tra mathamna pe nyenka jembores.
So at universities like this, we learn about and develop all kinds of advanced technology. We learn and develop all kinds of advanced knowledge. However, if in fact the people who control the use of this knowledge and the use of their technology, their minds are not healthy, then there are extreme risks.
Teni lasar ta shirk santhom bolo patang nyamde teni ngaso dagjin nyambandao teni ga samlo thone ngaso shirk tang lasar ta ganga thola pepsho tang chok ganga thola pepsho tang machok o teni ga loso tongya te pe karchim bore ngaso samgan de teni shipa ngaso rewa haliba chimbo janga yores.
So in addition to researching and developing new advanced technology and other advanced forms of knowledge, it is my hope that students at universities such as this also engage in discussion and reflection on what are the appropriate ways to use or implement or deploy this technology and knowledge, and what are the inappropriate areas that this technology and knowledge is deployed in. It is my hope that in addition to simply learning about technology and knowledge, that we also have this kind of ethical discussion too. So that's the end of my talk tonight. Thank you very much to everyone.